Hi friends, I am back and I'm doing another Come With Me to the Cinema! Sorry, it's so loud. I'm sorry if you're wearing headphones. I'm just so excited. As some of you guys know, where I live in the world, we are very lucky right now, and yes, we are able to go to the cinema. I know, crazy. I live in Perth, Australia, if you're curious about looking up our situation, but we have been pretty good for the last couple of months, and I'm excited because I'm sure you can see by the title, this has been a movie that a lot of people have been looking forward to all year, and I actually know a couple of my friends who have seen this one already in festivals. Promising Young Woman is kind of described as a thriller, crime, comedy, horror-ish. People are saying it's a horror, but I mean, that's a long conversation, and I haven't seen the film yet, but a lot of people are saying it is a horror thriller. I did see the trailer a long time ago, but I've kind of put it at the back of my mind. So there's not a lot that I know about this film. I know it's written and directed by Emerald Fennell, who is an actress. She was on The Crown, but she's also obviously a writer, and she wrote some of Killing Eve. She also stars in this film as an uncredited role, which a lot of directors do these days, which I think is quite fun. But the film itself is about a woman who is traumatized by a tragic event in her past, and she seeks out vengeance against those who cross her path. The film has a crazy cast, including Carey Mulligan, Alison Brie, Bo Burnham, Adam Brody, and Laverne Cox, among many others. I'm just listing some people I know that are in the film. I'm so excited to see this one on the big screen. Obviously, I'm lucky enough to do that, and I'm just excited to see what it's about and let you guys know whether you should be looking forward to it. Is it hyped up for a reason? Should it be highly anticipated? Is it gonna make my top of 2020 list? I love when little ones sneak in the end, and I've been doing a lot of catch up lately, so I'm excited to catch up with this one. Let's go see it at the cinemas. I have no expectations really, I just hope it's a good time. Let's go. What's exciting about this is for the people who have been here with me through the years, this might be the last Come With Me in this car. We might be getting a new car. This car is literally about to fall apart. Hi. I just got out of Promising Young Woman, and I feel like I am traumatized. Like, I'm not even kidding, I'm laughing because I feel so awful and awkward, and oh my fucking god, was that intense. First off, I do want to start by saying that this movie is not I hate categorizing because, you know, everything's genre bending these days, but I don't really think it's a horror movie nor completely a thriller, but it is 100% thrilling. And I went back and forth after watching the film whether I should even finish recording, because I know it doesn't really fit in my channel not being a thriller or a horror, but I mean, I've done other films like Swallow and stuff that kind of the boundaries are kind of blended, and this film definitely has horrific moments, and I think if anything it's probably good to talk about this because then you know what you're walking into and you'll know whether this film is for you. I feel like that was quite disturbing. The film is about a woman who went through a traumatizing experience, and in turn her life is now pretty much taken hostage by the idea of revenge and justice against people who can commit crimes such as the one that was committed to her friend. I should say, of course, the trigger warning, the sexual content in this film is intense. You don't see anything, but the stories and you hear audio, and it's very intense. It is a revenge tale like none other, and it's one of those films you definitely have to see for that to play out. But when I tell you that this was a roller coaster of a film, it absolutely was. It's probably the definition of a roller coaster film, because the structure of this film is all over the place. It starts like way into the story, and it has a love story in it, and there's comedy, and it's fun, and it's goofy, and it's sinister, and it's slick, and it's almost like the revenge at the start is such a game, and I do think that they do this in the trailer if I remember correctly. It seems like such a game and such a fun, slick thing about this woman getting revenge, and it turns sour. The lines are very blurred, and it's a lot, and I like that about it, because I like films that can really test those boundaries and not everything is black and white, and there's so much in this film that really speaks volumes, and so much so that you can't turn away from it, and it's very scary and intense. And that was the purpose of the film, so I really felt like that it did that. Carey Mulligan, who actually, it's so funny because she's in this other movie that completely tore me apart called Never Let Me Go. No one ever talks about this film, but it's based on a book and it's pretty traumatic in a different way. She was amazing in this film. She was kind of unrecognizable as well. I feel like they really changed her and stylized her, and a lot of this film is stylization. It's very aesthetically pleasing, so I think that's what's odd about this, because usually such a raw and gripping, disturbing story isn't so stylized and like pop and funky. She wears like almost what I would describe as like Easter colors. She's highly stylized. She has all these like different color fingernails, and yeah, it's just a really beautiful looking film. And she also lives with her parents in this film, and their house is also like, it's something that came out of Love Witch or something. It's very distinct, and there's kind of even this moment where there's this joke about it and how weird it is, and it was just moments like that that are kind of like this offbeat comedy, and this film definitely has a lot of comedic aspects, but they really didn't spare you. It's not one of those films where you're gonna feel spared, I tell you that. It's one of those films that is gonna be really hard to watch, and I don't want to say too much more because, yeah, obviously I don't want to spoil this for you. Not only was the stylization, the acting was great, except for some of the douchebags, but I felt like they were trying to not be relatable to the audience, so I don't know if the acting was so much questionable as it was probably on point with what they were trying to do. They didn't want them to seem like people, and I think that worked well. There was like just one scene that, yeah, it felt really off, but I think that was, again, the roller coaster going over a bump and you dropping. But also the music in this film was really well done. It was very epic bridging shots. They really went into some chilling versions of music. They have this amazing like violin version of Toxic by Britney Spears. I promise you, it will give you chills, and it gave me complete chills. It was amazing. So it was really well thought out in the way it was put together and the stylization they wanted to put into it. This was a film that was made to get people's butts in the seats and then really blow them away. And I hope it will do that. I actually really enjoyed this film. I went with my friend Scott. Shout out to you, Scott. And I think, I mean, he really enjoyed it. It really threw him for a loop as well. And it was just not what I was expecting, to be honest. It's kind of nice to be shocked sometimes, and I feel like this film is pretty disturbing if you have the time to take it seriously and really give yourself over to it. But it's not hard to do with how luring the characters are and how beautiful it is to watch. I'm also reading afterwards on IMDb that the title is a reference to Brock Turner, a Stanford University student who was convicted of sexual assault in 2016. Despite the conviction, he was referred to by some as a promising young man. And I'm going to leave you with that. My score for this film is hard. It's one I would really like to sit on. Right now I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10, but it might be an 8. I feel very disturbed by that film. So I'm going to leave the score here. By the time I edit this, it will be a couple days later, and I'll give you, it will either be a 7 or an 8, I'm pretty sure. I was very lucky to be able to see this in cinemas, and I highly recommend, if you can, if it's safe where you are, to do so. But if you do get a chance to watch it, and it does sound like something you want to watch. A lot of people, I know they're not into this kind of disturbing content that's so realistic and so confronting, and for that I say, if it doesn't sound like your thing, don't watch it if it's going to annoy you. But I would really hope that people would be open to watching this kind of film. That was hard. Anyway, what a downer. I hope you're all doing really well. 12 Days of Christmas is still going on, so if you do want me to watch something a little bit more lighthearted and it has a lot of rants, I tell you what, those 12 Days of Christmas is just like 12 days of rants. So if you're into me ranting about films, definitely check them out. This month has been up and down with me watching 12 Days of Christmas and watching all of the final films of 2020 that I didn't get around to. So I hope you've enjoyed the ride as much as me. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I do 2 videos every single week, usually talking about horrors and thrillers. This one is more of a crime. I would say it's a thriller. Crime, thriller, drama, comedy, adventure. I hope you're having a great day. Subscribe if you want to see me in your feed more often, and I'll talk to you very soon. Stay spooky. Bye.